Hello, Uncle Mike here again. I thought I'd continue my discussion about basically my commentaries and whatnot, and reporting any news that I get on the upcoming Kong vs. Godzilla film. Um, and I thought I'd continue the conversation right now by sort of delving into each character on the monster side of things, since that's what I'm all about, is the kaiju. Ever since I was a little kid, I've had quite a fascination, and so at this point, there's been a few decades to compile information and thoughts on the characters, the themes they represent, and just simply historical background, which I hope to touch on each one of those in this brief video. This one here I want to dedicate to Kong, or King Kong, as he's known. Which, of course, now he's the movie franchise of Kong is an American movie franchise. Originally RKO Pictures movie company in 1933. The original King Kong. Now that there was a re-release in '52. There was also a not so well-known sequel called Son of Kong, which I've seen, and it's really cool. If you haven't seen it, dig it up. By now, I'm sure there's a place to stream it. And Mighty Joe Young came out around the same time. It's not King Kong. I think they were trying to expound upon that. I mean, it's a good movie. I like it. And they did a remake, of course, a few years back also of that one. But it's not King Kong. But it explores a similar-esque character and a, oversized ape. There's been tons of foreign knockoffs. There was one that I watched just a few weeks ago called, I think it was called The Wild Peking Man, which I really enjoyed. It's a cheapie. It's it's like a guilty pleasure enjoy. The special effects kind of sucked and all that, but I enjoyed the movie. There's some movies out there, if you just kind of allow yourself to enjoy them, they can be really fun, even though it'd be very easy to poke holes in them. And sometimes, nothing wrong with just entertainment. But we're going to get more brainy and geeky on this one. So, in the 60s, RKO licensed the King Kong character to Toho Movies of Japan, which are the people that created Godzilla back in the 1950s. And they used him in the first and original Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, I forget which way it was parsed, in that movie. And that's an enjoyable movie. Kong wins the fight. It's always hilarious to me, the online debate on chat groups and all that, but people forget that there's a script and there's people that made the movie and they have spoken about who won the fight. So your opinion kind of doesn't matter if the people who wrote it themselves are saying otherwise. Just a little sidebar there. So the Kong character is very interesting to me, as opposed to, say, Godzilla. Is the Kong character, after the '60s Japanese ones, they also made one called King Kong Escapes, which I enjoyed also. King Kong fights this Mecha King Kong. A lot of people have not seen that, don't know about it. It's a lot harder to find and stream. I did a couple, 2, 3 years ago, did find it somewhere online. I think it was on the Toho movie website itself, and streamed it. I'd seen it when I was a kid. It's enjoyable. It's, hey, it is what it is. But again, it's almost a guilty pleasure enjoyment kind of thing. And then there were remakes of the original King Kong, not reboots, remakes in the '70s, and then again in, I want to say it was '05, the one with Jack Black in it. Those movies were all very enjoyable, really nice. And, as the decades pass, of course, technology is better, and the special effects are better, and blah, blah, blah. But at its core, even the one in the 30s, did a fantastic job of telling a really cool adventure story. And of course, he has a very sad, tragic ending, which I hope is not going to be the case in the new movie coming out. But what's interesting, what I was starting to say was, he's always the same. It always starts out, he's this giant gorilla on a tropical island being worshipped by the locals, and they never changed his origin story, no matter who did it or no matter what decade. Not so for Godzilla. And it's really interesting. Oh, there was also another one around the time of the 70s remake where I think it was called Queen Kong, where they introduced a female Kong, and I saw it. It's okay. I'll leave it at that. Look it up yourself, see what you think of it. But it's interesting that Kong is the character. He's usually something dangerous, something fearsome, but not necessarily a bad guy. Maybe an misunderstood guy. So that's really interesting, and he's been no different in this most recent American version of Skull Island. And it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with this and how he deals with, how the script deals with him fighting Godzilla. Now, a lot of people like to point out, well, you know, Godzilla would just crush him because he's so much smaller, blah, blah, blah. Well, they've built it into the script where they're going to be pretty much the same size. So, and they did that in the Japanese movie too. So that, you know, you got to throw that out. They're going to be about the same size. My suspicion would be that Kong would have superior intelligence. Godzilla has an advantage in terms of a ranged weapon, his atomic breath, but Kong can throw boulders and whatnot, and I guess he's going to have some kind of axe, maybe made out of one of Godzilla's dorsal fins, which would be a shield against that ray, I suppose. We'll see how it works out, but I think if it's handled correctly, it could be a very, very good and evenly matched fight. That, I'll be honest, I'm rooting for Kong on this one, just because how they've built the characters up. We'll talk more about Godzilla. I'm going to give him his own video. I've talked long enough for this one. We'll get into it more then. But what do you think? Hey, reply in the comments, please. Please subscribe. I'd like to get a group of people who are good-natured and enjoy talking about the subject and find it fun, and we can keep having conversations. I promise to reply. Go ahead and hit something. Hit the reply button. Hit the subscribe button, please. And I'll see you on the next one, which I'll probably talk about Godzilla on that one. Thanks.